Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program Capital Beat. After changing the Chief Minister of Haryana, BJP has appointed Mohan Lal Badoli as its state unit president. Badoli is a Brahmin associated with the RSS. He seems to be a favorite with Manohar Lal Khattar and also Nayab Singh Saini, who's the Chief Minister. Now, BJP is keen on getting its caste arithmetic right. Now, it has appointed Badoli, who's the Brahmin. Then you have a chief minister who's an OBC. Then the state in charge is Satish Punia, who's a Jat. So, BJP is attempting a caste balance, but with issues like Agniveer, with issues like farmers' protest, with wrestlers' protest, and all the narrative which we have seen in the last few months, can BJP really get its act together for Haryana by striking the right arithmetic? Joining me now is senior journalist and political commentator Anita Katyal. Anita, thank you so much for joining. We have TK Rajlakshmi, who's a senior deputy editor with the Frontline. Thank you, Rajlakshmi, for joining. And I'll begin with Anita Katyal. Anita, what is your assessment by appointing Badoli as the Brahmin face of the BJP, who's now the state president? Uh, do you think that this kind of a caste balance, which BJP is trying to do, and with all the issues around, can it really get its act together just with the little time we have now for the Haryana elections to go in October?
Neelu, thank you for having me on your show. Like you said in your introductory remarks, the fact is that the BJP has an uphill task. It has, did very badly in these elections. If we rewind to the Lok Sabha polls, their vote share has come down by about 15% or 12% or whatever. It has come down drastically. So, and they are, the leads in assemblies have also come down. So, and the tradition and the convention in Haryana elections has always been that the Lok Sabha, the momentum of the Lok Sabha is carried forth to the assembly elections, which is just a few months away. The gap is very short. So the BJP really has to get its act together. And as it is before the election, before the Lok Sabha elections, they changed Khattar, they replaced Khattar, and they got Saini, and it didn't work because, as you mentioned yourself, in the various issues that were kind of, the churn was there in the state, wrestlers' protests, farmers' protests, Agniveer, and other local issues and anti-incumbency, because they've been in power for two terms now. So they really have, but they are sticking to their old formula of consolidating the non-Jat vote. And it is in line with that they have brought in Badoli, a new face, hoping that a new face will kind of rally around people and the voters and somehow help the BJP regain its old position.
Right. Yeah. Rajlakshmi, you have also toured extensively to Haryana. Now, what is the sense you get after all these organizational reshuffles? You have an OBC chief minister, now you have a Brahmin state president, and Satish Punia, who's a state in charge, he's a Jat. But all these caste calculations and the arithmetic or the social engineering, whatever you may call it, if the BJP is trying to work around, will it really help, given the fact that, as what Anita said, that normally in Haryana, the momentum of Lok Sabha elections gets carried to the Vidhan Sabha elections? So, looking at that, do you see Haryana, as Anita also pointed out, that it looks like an uphill task? But many people say that, in the end, eventually BJP might just win Haryana elections. Do you see the possibility of that?
See, the BJP is going to, cash in on the, the contradictions, between the Jats, and the non-Jats. Now, among the OBCs, the Sainis constitute, a big number. Okay, in fact, a sizable chunk, among the OBCs, and that was one factor, as to why Mr. Nayab Saini was made the CM. And Mr. Khattar is a union minister, right? So the Punjabis, who are also part of the OBC chunk, they have been addressed, and you have Mr. Saini, who represents the Seni community, which is a big chunk among the among the other OBC groups, like you have Nais, you have Telis, you have Dhanaks, etc. Right? So it's a big group, and then and so I think the BJP is seeking to exploit this factor in the coming elections, and which is why if you recall Nuru, in 2016, when the anti Jat reservation started. The Jats basically, they started this agitation, uh, but against reservations, which was a demand coming from the non the non Jats, right? So in that agitation, at that point, Mr. Khattar was a CM, and he just allowed this, to blow over. He just allowed it to escalate, and that further, in fact, divided the cleavage, between the Jats as well as the non-Jats. But as of now, the Jats are, fully rallying behind Mr. Huda, because as per them, it's been 10 years, since they've been waiting, for the Chodhar, okay, that is to occupy the post of CM, and they see Huda as sort of their man, and who's going to represent those interests. Also, in these elections, in the Lok Sabha elections, the SCs, came back to the Congress, in a big way. A section of the SCs, which comprise, from the Dhana community, they are still with the BJP, but by and large, the subgroups, that is the Chamars as well as Valmikis, they have come back to the Congress. And that accounts for the reason, why the Congress did well, the reserved seats also. I mean, as far as this particular person, Mr. Baroli is concerned, he lost during the Lok Sabha election. There were two Brahmin candidates that the BJP fielded, right? I mean,
Yes.
he and Mr. Arvind Sharma, and they both lost. Okay, so even if they get, I mean, a Jat to be, the president of the of the state, of the BJP, it's not going to make, much of a difference. But
Hmm.
yes, but this attempt is there, definitely, and the Congress, I think, should try to make allies in the state. It should not have this attitude that I will go alone and everything is fine. It should not take things for granted. Uh, so I think it won't be such a smooth run for the Congress either. Yes, all those issues, as Anita has also mentioned, the farmers are extremely unhappy, and then there's a law and order. In fact, the law and order situation is quite bad in Haryana. There are cases extortion, crime, and then drugs is also a pretty serious issue that has come up. So in face of all these, I think the BJP is not going to do all that well, and plus it's no traditional allies. It's not exactly traditional allies, but the ally with whom it's piggybacked. The JJP is not with it anymore, right? Now the INLD, I think, plans to go and form a third front, with the BSP in the state. Now that might that might hurt the Congress a bit. So I think that there's still, I think, lots of work that the Congress needs to do, and not take things, for granted, that the assembly elections are going to be a smooth affair in the months
Right.
to come.
Right. But in fact, I was coming to the prospects of Congress. Anita, how would you see, the way Congress is positioning itself for Haryana? Now, there have been allegations that, there's rampant factionalism. You have a Shelja Kumari camp, then you have a Bhupinder Huda camp, then there's Randeep Surjewala. How much of that is a past chapter? I mean, or does it still exist? And what are the challenges before Congress, according to you?
Uh, the first thing is that this factionalism will never go away. The
Okay.
divide is far, far too deep. And which is the reason why you saw that Kiran Chaudhary left, Kiran Chaudhary and her daughter left, and they were part of the Selja Surjewala group. They were known as the SRK,
Yeah.
and they had taken on Huda, but without any success, because Huda, kind of prevailed upon the central leadership and ensured that the seats, I mean, the tickets were distributed as per his wishes, So he had a major say, which is actually one of the reasons why they stopped at winning only 5 seats. They could have won many more. but because of the faulty distribution of seats, it is felt that that the Congress kind of that they allowed BJP to win at least as many as 5 seats, and they could have easily won more, but then this factionalism, of course, is there. It's a permanent thing. It's not going to go away. But I'm not sure how much impact it'll. I mean, how much clout that Surjewala and Selja have in this in the state unit, because Huda has complete control, and he has control. I mean, even the central leadership has kind of given him a free hand, gave him a free hand in assembly. In the Lok Sabha polls. And I think if since he has delivered as many as 5 seats, it will continue to do so. And if that happens, then I think it's going to be a problem, because the others may not be able to win seats, but they can be spoilers. So that is a factor. And as Raji said, the consolidation of Jats versus non-Jats, the Jats are 25%. And if the non-Jats who have helped the BJP, in 2 terms, and if they continue to consolidate behind BJP, then it will be a problem for Huda. So Huda has to actually reach out to the others, and the central leadership has to kind of step in and ensure, and mediate between the factions and ensure that they work together, because the BJP will be working hard to to get back its old position and to ensure that it can win the state again, which Raji said, it seems difficult now, but there's still 3-4 months left, and situations can change, and you can't be sit back and be complacent.
Right. So, Anita, are you saying that the situation might not turn out to be so horrible for BJP as it is made out to be? Or despite all these issues existed, whether it was Agniveer, in fact, Bhupinder Singh Hooda recently had held a press conference in Chandigarh, and I happened to listen to a portion of it where he said that, the real issue is Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Pehelwan. And Modi has abandoned all these 3 segments, and therefore the going is very tough for BJP. But despite all these issues which still exist, BJP still managed to win 5 out of 10 Lok Sabha seats, which is like
No, I think, and for that, I think they have to, they should be grateful to Huda, because Huda's selection of candidates was such. I mean, a lot of old Haryana hands told me that he was so focused on his son's seat that he in that region, he gave away seats to a lot of weak candidates, or candidates who were not going to be, were not very stable, or they weren't going to be winners. But because he had to ensure his son's victory, and victory in a big way, so the whole focus was on that. And in the process, the selection of candidates went haywire. So that the central leadership has to step in. They cannot allow Huda to kind of ride roughshod over them and to have their say. But so that is number one. And I'm not saying that the BJP is in complete control now. All those factors are very much there, but I don't know. Maybe people might feel that okay, that anger over those issues has been expended. So like they say, these issues work once. It is often said, but there can be other issues. After all, these are state assembly elections. They are not Lok Sabha elections. So there are regional election issues. There are local issues. There's anti-incumbency against sitting MLAs. So that those factors are also there. So it is as of now, Congress is in a strong position, but it cannot afford to be complacent, and it has to kind of work at it. And the central leadership has to ensure that the 2 factions come together, and that Huda is not allowed a free hand.
No, but knowing the nature of Bhupinder Hooda, Raji, I'll come to you. Normally, he doesn't like too much of intervention. He doesn't like people intervening in what he's doing. He gets miffed, if people are not given tickets according to his choice. So knowing what he is, do you think that's going to be a challenge before Kharge and Rahul Gandhi, how to rein in Hooda and convey to him that, look, we cannot let you just go free with whatever you want?
Well, it will be a challenge, but then his individualism has to be reined in somehow, so that things don't fall apart. Because I think Sarja is equally important. I mean, and so are the other other Congress leaders there. And because in a contest which is I think likely to be quite tight. Because if the INLD and the BSP are going to fight jointly, they got some 3% of the vote in the last Lok Sabha elections. But then in a tight contest, all these things will matter. And ultimately selection of of candidates, as Anita also said, it does have an impact, because again
And
the local. Yeah,
I have read it correctly.
yeah,
Is it that INLD and BSP are going to contest together?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
there were reports on
yeah,
this.
there
So,
were
how is
reports.
that really going to impact the equation? I mean, the electoral equation.
Yeah, it will, because INLD, see, on the Bhiwani seat, it was the INLD candidate who took away quite a number of votes from there, which ultimately led to the Aam Aadmi Party candidate losing those elections. Because ultimately Jats, they did vote for a Jat candidate. I mean, even though the Jats are pro Congress, but they voted for the Jat candidate in Bhiwani Mahendragarh seat, right? So all these things are going to matter. And in the SC vote, the BSP. At one point it did have it has some presence in Haryana, but now, but then among the Chamars against against the Chamars, which the BSP sort of tends to represent, they are a sizable number. They are in fact the largest group among the SCs, followed I think by Valmikis, and then by Dhanaks. So they will in fact cut into the votes of the Congress. I mean, if the Congress doesn't in fact get its act together. As of now, the SCs have come back to the Congress. They have. So that they should ensure stays with them. And that things are worked out accordingly. So as I said, I mean, if the contests are going to be keen, everything is going to matter. Every single thing is going to matter. Now the JJP, for that matter, they campaigned against the BJP, in the 2019 elections. Okay, to 2019 assembly elections. But as soon as the results were announced, and the BJP was the single largest party, they
Yeah.
I mean they joined hands together. So such opportunistic elements are going to exist, right?
Hmm.
But as of now, the JJP has been thoroughly, in fact, decimated and thoroughly discredited. But their nuisance value is there. So all said and done, it is important for the Congress to put its house in order first, also, because this Kiran Chaudhary episode,
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, there were rumors that she campaigned, for the BJP candidate in Bhiwani Mahendragarh. Okay, so so all those things have to be addressed. I mean, the Congress's prospects are good, yes, but again, there are still, I mean, 4 or 5 months left for
Yeah.
for for things to either fall apart, or things to sort of move in a certain consolidated direction if the
Right.
Congress wants. Yeah.
Right. So, Anita, what do you think will be the major issues in Haryana? Of course, the farmers' issue, the women's wrestlers' issue, so all these issues will resonate. But what do you think will really become the mudda of Haryana, according to you? Just little time is left now. October, the elections are scheduled. So, the kind of momentum which we have seen in during the Lok Sabha elections, what do you think will be the major issues for the assembly elections?
It's difficult to say right now because these issues are still existing on the ground. They're very much so. I don't know to what extent they will continue to kind of resonate with the people. Like I said, these issues sometimes it does happen that the kind of they linger on, but there are times when an issue people have exhausted their anger, they've expended their anger, and other issues then come up, other considerations come into place. So it's possible local issues and might vary from constituency to constituency. That can that may factor, and then it also depends on on how the central government handles all these issues. They still have 3-4 months. So whether it's farmers or wrestlers, I mean, I think it's a done deal. They're not going to do anything more. But Agniveer also. But they have to somehow address these issues if they want, you know, the state back, if they want to win it back. So that is a factor, but it's very difficult to say right now what will be the main mudda. But there will be issues, could be very, from place to place. But these issues are very much there. They're not going away right now unless the central government does something
Right.
to address their
But
concerns.
yeah, so it's very clear that BJP is trying to do a caste balance and
Yeah.
get its arithmetic right. But Rajalakshmi, coming to you now. But as far as the caste arithmetic is concerned for the Congress, how is Congress trying to do that balancing act? Because somehow they will also have to counter this caste arithmetic, which is being adopted by BJP. So how are they doing it according to you?
See, as I said, the Jats are around 20 to 25%, huh? And the OBCs, okay, are around 35% in the state, right? Then you have the SCs, right? So if you have the Jats and you have the SCs and a section, of Muslims that is in the that is uh, towards
Yeah.
Gurgaon, Mewat, okay, that Mewat belt, okay, which exactly, which represents Muslims. So there, I think a combined, I think a combination of all these groups uh, can help the Congress. But as I said, providing the Congress ensures that it doesn't get divided, these groups, themselves don't get divided because of Congress's failures to put its to get its act together, right? And just taking off from the issues that some of which Anita also mentioned, I think law and order is going to be an issue this time, and also drugs, I'm told. Okay, this is what people said, this entire drugs menace among the youth, amongst the unemployed youth. And then the donkey kind of scenario where small farmers, they are selling of their lands, and going through unscrupulous agents to get jobs. The same thing that's happening in Punjab is also happening in Haryana, I'm told. So at that level, there is a lot of discontent uh, among the Janta. And if the Congress is able to address those issues, even by way of its campaigns, even by way of and of course it's not in government, but how it addresses it, it will have an impact, right? Farmers issues are there. The Sanyukt Kisan Morcha has already announced that it's going to renew its agitation on all those issues, on the framework, on the uh, uh, legalizing the MSP issue, and then of course, a fair price, for all the crops, etc. So all those things are going to come back. Pension for farmers. So because small farmers, they constitute the bulk, of the agrarian community in both Punjab as well as Haryana. So pension is a big thing. So all those issues, how the Congress is able to sort of take, and it should not take that support for granted. The Congress should not think that that support is going to come to it. It has to work for it. It has to ensure that it makes good on those commitments, yes, and plus how successfully it takes those campaigns forward, and how it sets its own house in order. So that because I think that chunk is already there with them. The JAR support is already there with them now. The support of all the SCs is there with them. The majority of the SCs is with them, right? I mean, it just requires that additional push, and I think things can work out in its favor.
All right. So towards the end, Anita, if I may ask you for your comment, so it's not going to be a cakewalk, neither for Congress nor for BJP. It looks like a tightrope walk for both, as of now.
Well, as of now, I would say the Congress is ahead, but it
Mhm.
can't take this for granted. And the BJP, knowing BJP, it will be working hard to put its house in order, which they have started by, appointing a new president. I mean, to what, I don't know how much impact it will have, but at least they are making that effort at getting their caste arithmetic together. And I think I read somewhere today the Congress mayor from Sonipat has joined the BJP. is joining or joined or whatever has announced. So we'll see more of this in the coming months. So the Congress also has to, like I said, has to be very, very careful and has to be really alert and vigilant. It can't just sit back on its, take its success for granted. So, and also, I think another factor is to what extent the Congress at the national level, what kind of role it plays. Rahul Gandhi, to what extent it is viewed as a party which is moving ahead, is gaining in strength and in consolidating. That will also have an impact on the assembly elections. If the Congress is seen as a party which is on the rise, so it will impact. I mean, it will kind of be a consideration when people go out to vote. They'll think that okay, they are voting for a party which is going to be in power next, or which is going ahead, moving ahead. And so that I think will also make a difference. I mean, one of the factors I feel how the Congress and Rahul Gandhi conduct themselves as an opposition, to what extent they are effective, and to how they.
I think the electricity has gone. So, yeah, she's back. Yeah, I lost you for a moment. Yeah, yes, Sarita.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that the role of the Congress as an opposition now, and since their numbers have gone up and they are more vocal and they are more aggressive, and so that I think will kind of feed into the election, people's mood, if they see that the Congress is doing well and is the future, has a future, because as of now people had given up on it and said kuch nahi hoga, Congress mukt Bharat and that kind of thing. People had bought into that narrative, which is changing.
Yes.
So we'll have to wait and watch. The elections in Haryana are scheduled in October, and when the campaign begins, how does it unfold? We'll have to wait and watch.
Absolutely.
But a lot of things might happen in the coming months. Thank you so much, Anita Katyal, Rajlakshmi. It was wonderful having both of you on the program. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: subscribe to our channel, send us your feedback, and stay tuned to The Federal. Thank you.